屋に軍馬産業はない。ヘンリー・兄上によると、軍の馬は外から買い揃えたものだそうだ。それなら足りない買い場を民から奪うにも限界がある。
兵の食料だと略奪が起きる。さすがでございます。早速取り掛かります。
Alright, Noble Reincarnation, okay? This is slowly becoming one of my favorites this winter season, and I want to be clear. I think we all pretty much understand. This is not winning any type of awards. It's not going to be the most well-written. No one's going to be like, oh my god, Noble Reincarnation, best anime I've ever gleamed my eyes on. But if you remove the fact, Isekai reincarnation story, guy's reborn in another world type deal. He gets reincarnated into a noble family, has to act a certain way because of his lineage. He's the 13th prince, has to make moves, has to do all these things, right? If you remove the Isekai reincarnation piece of it, we're going to grab that and we're just going to say it's going to follow the standard reincarnation stuff. So, remove reincarnation, remove OP character, remove at a young age is like really setting the world ablaze with his talents, okay? So remove those things. And if we look at it for what it is, what it does really well is, for me, political intrigue. I love, especially Isekai, I love when anime go into politics. And of course, I don't want them to go, I don't want the pendulum to swing too far. But I love when they go into the politics of how the kingdoms ran. It's very clear he has very loose power as the 13th prince. But the thing that he has above his other constituents and above specifically the other princes, of course, maybe not like the top princes because they've been around, they're much older. They look like they're in their 30s or 40s at this point. So they've been in the game for a long time. But the thing that he has against most of the other princes is, one, he's so young that the potential he holds now is limitless based on what he's already accomplished. He's a really good communicator. He's good at reading the room. And he understands kind of the nuances behind things and why people look at certain things that way, especially with him because he's a kid. So in this episode, we got to see him, go and meet with the Minister of Finance. And under his jurisdiction, there was a flood that took place, and the funds that needed to be allocated to, relief funds and rebuilding funds weren't allocated to this specific place. And the guy who kind of is like in charge of making these things happen comes to him, and he was able to go and then beeline it to the Minister of Finance. He talks to this guy, like, cut all the BS. Don't talk down to me. Don't talk to me like I'm some little kid that doesn't understand anything. Why are you not doing your job? And he gets this guy to basically end up kneeling on the ground because he's like, how dare you use my father's name in your mouth to be a reason that you cannot fulfill your duties, your obligation. So he puts this guy under fire and he gets the funds to happen. And what he does is he gains another follower in the guy who was part of the relief stuff, seeing how he navigated that really complex situation and conversation. So just that alone, okay? Stopping right there, I was like, man, this is really good stuff. And then I think the OP played. I think that was maybe 8 minutes, 8 minutes of the show. I was like, okay, that's really good. Then the next part is, his dad or his father, the king, is praising him and, letting him know, like, the king's plugged in. Like, he's got people everywhere. But he praises him for his smarts and ingenuity, reaction time. And the king has a very innate understanding. I like the way that the show depicts the king. Is he has a very innate understanding of things that are going right and things that are not going well. But the king also clearly understands that he cannot, go in and control and manipulate everything, even when he wants to, because he has to be like 10 levels above certain people. So he can't really show that he is like this micromanaging king, even if he needs to be in a certain time. So, having his multitude of sons act in these ways is very important. So he recognizes it, and then he tries to gift him a what do they call it? Like a swordsman, like a sword teacher, to teach him in the ways. And the thing that we learned at this point is he has the sword Leviathan on him, and apparently he's able to absorb all the knowledge of his past users. So basically he's like Deku in this sense, to where he's able to use all the past users that have ever wielded Leviathan before. He's able to, just beam all that into his head. So that's a really cool tidbit that they kind of glazed over a little bit, but at the same time, like, it is super important, right? He has the magnitude and the intelligence and he has all the past users' knowledge, who are all very talented. So he was able to beat this guy, not with just raw strength, but just with talent. And the guy's like, oh, we can't trade him. So that was interesting. Then I'll end with, the episode ends with an upheaval or uprising or what do they call it specifically? I forget the wording of it. But basically, in his lands, there was what was it called? Because something happened in his fief. Like an uprising, essentially, of like, I think, a rebellion. Okay, that's the right word. So in Marriia, there was a rebellion that occurred. And he was able to, in front of his father, witness that, like, hey, I can't be the one to lead this, but one of my brothers could. And that's kind of where the episode ended, was him kind of handling his, his business from the back end, as his brother kind of will take the renown for overcoming this rebellion. And he gained more recognition by his father, with realizing that, like, he doesn't always need to be the one seeking recognition. If there's someone better suited for the thing that needs to occur, his talents are better suited at finding someone who's better suited for it, which really just shows his father that he has a more of a king mindset already than maybe some of his brothers, who are out there for glory and renown. And for him, he's more focused on success, and I think that's really cool. So for me, this episode was an 8 out of 10. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I can't wait to watch more. Again, this is slowly becoming one of my guilty pleasures of the season, for sure. I really feel like this was, like, really, really good. So I'm excited to watch more, and I can't wait for next week with episode number 4. So yeah, I'll leave you guys in those thoughts. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, my friends, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, peace.